Hello and welcome to Sullivan's Farm. I'm standing in the middle of the last 10 calves to arrive and I'm being very rudely interrupted by that man, by that calf. It's coming up to feeding time, I suppose, so they're inclined to be not so polite. But anyway, the 10 Angus bull calves I think are absolute tanks. I'm delighted with them. They're bigger than they were when I went and looked at them a week ago. And all going well, we'll keep them going like that. They're in the new shed. The wind has changed around, or the wind direction has changed around. It's coming from behind the shed, behind me here. And there's no fear of any wind or rain blowing in on them. So that's what's arriving into the farm. We will have a look at these calves there now for a quick second. They're all happy enough lying down. The shed is divided rough. I was going to divide it into 6. It's going to be divided into 4 with 5 in each pen. I'd never planned on putting 10 in each span anyway, but it's lovely to see the space they have in the 5. Now I'm going to have to step out because this calf is just not taking no for an answer. So there's going to be 5 there, 5 in here. I'll bring out 5 of the 5 of the Friesian heifers out here in the next few days as well. Probably move those bales and put 5 more down there, and then we'll have a look at what way the pens are going to go inside when the 10 of the 20 are out here, and then they all have more room inside. One option is to clean out the first span of the cubicles here behind me, now that there's only 5 of the big cattle left, and set up a couple of pens in there, but we'll see. Will you stop? On the other end of things, 7 bullocks went off to the Mart on Monday, or as I thought, there were 7 bullocks. There were actually 6 bullocks and 1 heifer. But there was no problem, thankfully, with the heifer. The Mart just gave her a different number and she was sold with a bunch of the heifers then as well. And she did okay too, but we'll have a quick look at the numbers. We'll step in out of the wind. The seven that went, there were 2 white-head bullocks there. We'll start with the bad news. 2 white-head bullocks. They weighed, I think, 450 kgs. They were fairly plain. When it was all added up, they left a grand total of €7 profit. So that's all the costs: purchase costs, feed costs, and fixed costs. So it's €7, €14, the price of a nice bottle of wine after looking after them for the last 2 years. Above that, there was a couple of limousine bullocks, weighed 495 kgs. So when all the costs were added up, I think they left just over €200 each. There was a limousine bullock that was 555 kgs and an Angus bullock that was 535. Between the two of them, they left just about €400 each when all the costs were taken away. So overall, if I had 30 of them every year, I'd be very, very happy. But I guess the hard part is you're always going to have the ones that leave you €7 each as well. And like these Angus calves behind me were bought directly from a farmer, and I think they're absolute tanks. And I'd be very surprised if they left any less than 350 or €400 after them in 18 months, 19 months time. But you're never guaranteed that you can get 30 of them either. So the hard part, I suppose it all averages out, but the hard part for me about dairy beef and buying calves is that inevitably you're going to have a couple in any bunch where there's €7 left after them. But they're gone. The space is kind of increasing inside here now. We'll go in and look at the 5 heifers that are left, and we'll see why we shouldn't have bought them in the first place either 2 years ago. There's 3 of them there. I'm just throwing them a bit of hay. There's only 5 of them, so I'm not going to bother opening a bale of silage. They can have hay for a few days. They're still getting a little bit of that ration that I'm mixing in those blue, very fancy feeders there. And a few more days, when that weather settles, they'll go out to the 30 yearlings outside then, and this shed will be emptied. And that's the one I was thinking I might hose it down again then, disinfect it, let it dry out, put lime every place, put in straw and set up a pen for maybe 5 of the 20 Friesian heifers inside. those ones that haven't paid for themselves yet were part of a bunch of Friesian heifer, kind of Friesian heifer calves I bought 2 years ago when I was thinking about going milking then. Now, it wasn't an option then, or it turned out to not be an option then, but sure, they're still here. They're not bred for beef. They were too small to sell earlier in the year last year to the man that bought, I think, 12 of the other ones that I had of the Friesian heifers. There was a couple of Jersey crosses in the mix, and that's what's left here as well. There was a half a tween in the mix, so she had to come back. I didn't realise she was a half a tween after paying proper prices for her. So she had to come back. So she's still there as well. But look, they'll go out with the yearling cattle. We'll see what they weigh May, June time. Throw a bit of ration into them then, and hopefully at that stage they'll have covered their costs and we'll move on. Yeah. We'll go in out of the rain for a minute. Have a look at the Friesian heifers again. Here they are. They know it is feeding time. They hear me talk and they're nice and alert. They're up, waiting, looking out as they weren't doing last week. And now, how many are there? 4 and 2. And how many are here? 4. There's supposed to be 5 in each, but I let the camera out of my hand in a second there now. One of them obviously decided there was more straw, or it was more comfortable, or their mates were up on this side, but we'll switch them around there in a second. They're still, I don't think, fully recovered from the scour last week, but there was no casualties. They're all drinking the milk properly again now. They're picking their ration, they're picking the hay, and I consider myself a lucky man not to have lost any of them. I didn't do anything special or anything of the sort. I did as much as I could, and then I was lucky after that, which I suppose 'tis all any of us can hope for in this life. Just, we won't show you that one doing its business, but it's a much more solid and a better colour poo that's coming out of them now as well. So I'd say 5 of these will go out to the new shed, and then the other 5 might stay here, and they'll have that extra bit of room as well. So that'll be a help next week too. Now here's the next pen. Go back. All night, nice, bright and breezy as well. Say these 5 might go out to the new shed too, and then we'll everybody will have a lot more room to breathe and to move around and all that kind of stuff. So the yearling cattle are doing fairly okay as well. A little bit of damage, but they're not too heavy just yet. They weighed well. We'll go into the results of those maybe in the next video, but yeah, they weighed very well over the winter. They're still going back out that gap there. It is a bit mucky, where they were outwintered on the fodder heap, mind your step, and they're getting silage there. They're getting through a bit of bale every 2 days now, the 30 of them. They're still getting a bit of meal as well. But there's enough grass after coming now on the fields that have already been grazed to start the second rotation. So as soon as there's a bit of settling of the weather and the ground isn't so wet and soft, they'll be going out properly then. That's it for this video. Back home again now for a bit of dinner. Thanks a million for watching. Hopefully the weather will keep improving and life will be better in another few days as well. Even better than now. So we'll talk to you soon. Mind yourselves and good luck.